Today we kick off our masked up triple feature with Brian De Palma's 1974 stage dive into fame, phantoms, and Faust. Songs are being stolen, souls are being sold, and the personification of artistic integrity itself takes center stage to seek bloody revenge on creative exploitation and musical sanitation as we look to the neon theater rafters to meet the tragic antihero in Phantom of the Paradise. You're listening to How I Met Your Monster, a podcast that explores the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. My name's Zach.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Casey.
And together we dive into the world of horror to find out how filmmakers have introduced us to our favorite monsters time and time again. This is How I Met Your Monster.
Boss, you opened it. We came.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
Call you meatloaf! Surprise, Sydney.
Welcome to How I Met Your Monster, the show where we discuss the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. Today, we are kicking off a brand new Halloween triple feature, Masked Up. That's right. We are talking about monsters with masks, and not the ones that you would think of because they've been talked about to death.
Well, I'm thinking about Jason. I'm thinking about Michael, maybe even Ghostface. Oh, Zach just fell asleep.
I'm thinking about Wilson.
Wilson.
I'm thinking about Wilson from the Phantom of the Palace.
No,
Who's Wilson?
By Wilson, do you mean the character from the neighbor from Home Improvement who is partially masked in a way because you never see his face?
Wilhelm? What is his name?
Yes, Willem Dafoe.
You're thinking
who wore
of
a great mask in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yes, the Green Goblin. Casey, I think you're thinking of Winslow Leach,
Winslow.
who is the title Phantom in our movie today, Phantom of the Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies to people who don't watch the movies and only vicariously watch them through us. We just spoiled like a huge twist.
Yes, who the Phantom is.
It's also not a huge twist.
Not really.
I've never seen a twist quite like this one. In a movie that is paying homage to Phantom of the Opera, and he is the scorned, broken artist who has everything stolen from him and the love of his life too.
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming.
You know what kind of upsets me?
What?
Is that I've never seen the Phantom of the Opera.
Not anything, not any iteration.
No, none of them. Not a fucking one, except for this one.
Well, this is
I just ruined all of it.
This is a perfect version of the story to introduce you to Phantom of the Opera.
I agree.
I don't think so. So I believe just a mere 6 weeks ago, I had dubbed Silver Bullet the Bonkers Ward. We are now passing the scepter to this movie because this movie is fucking the most bonkers thing we've ever watched.
See, I wouldn't consider Silver Bullet to be bonkers,
Did
but
I say
I will
Silver
agree.
Bullet? Like,
Yes.
when we were talking about Silver Bullet, though, did I say it was
I don't
bonkers? Maybe it was Phenomena.
Oh, yes. Phenomena.
Okay.
Yes, that would take a bonkers
Okay,
title
Phenomena
for sure.
was bonkers, but this is even more bonkers.
Yeah, this is crazy. So this is Phantom of the Paradise from 1974, written and directed by Brian De Palma. It is a crazy, trippy musical horror movie, which I was introduced to. I learned all about this from my mother, who loves this movie so much. I remember watching it when we were kids, and I didn't really care for it when I was a kid because it's whatever. But then I don't know. I think when I was like in my 20s or something, and I moved out, she like sent me the DVD, and I was like, okay, here we go. And it's so good. And then later, when I got into like Giallo movies and Dario Argento, and you watch Suspiria, and it's like, okay, this is crazy. There's no way that Dario Argento did not take inspiration for Suspiria from this movie. There's absolutely no way.
Zach, I don't believe there's not even a single way you can compare those two movies. But go ahead, give it a try.
The colors, the camera work, the blood. Let's see.
It looked like melted crayons.
Even the main actress,
Jessica Harper.
Jessica Harper plays Phoenix in Phantom of the Paradise, and she also plays
Sally? Sally's Texas Chainsaw.
Sally Suspiria.
She plays Sally Suspiria.
The title character of Sally Suspiria, Susie.
Susie.
Oh, you were close.
That's Sally.
She plays Susie
Suspiria.
in Suspiria, which was made 3 years after this movie.
That's wild.
So, yeah, so there's no way that Argento was not inspired by this. Like, he'd have to be. But let's see. Okay, Casey thinks it's bonkers. That's fair. Did you enjoy it?
I don't know.
Okay, Danny.
I loved it. I gave it a solid 4 on Letterboxd.
Excuse me.
Casey, go on. Casey, go on. I want to hear the rest.
So I was very scattered all day yesterday. Very scatterbrained. Scatterbrained at work. Very scattered. Came home very scatterbrained. Put this movie on. Do you think it helped?
Well, you would think if you were so scattered that something that is like this movie might kind of reorient you.
No.
Yeah, it's like a double negative.
No.
Yes.
No. And the scenes were so long that I was just kind of like, ugh, like I couldn't pay attention to them.
Wait, it sounded like you were singing along with them. Ooh.
No, because the music.
Find it in his voice.
Yeah.
I didn't like the music in this movie either, which is very disappointing because I love musicals. And
You didn't like the music in this?
not really.
But it's a rock opera. A rock opera.
No, I'm not a fan. But I definitely liked some things about it. I did like how bonkers it was. I liked how fucking but like with how long some of the scenes were, I'm like, okay, they could have like, added more to the story.
What more did you want to the story?
I don't know, maybe some like how this woman was like under the devil's spell, right? I don't know. Was she?
Well,
how?
no.
Why? I don't know.
What are you talking about under the devil's spell?
I don't know. Why does she marry him at the end? And she acts like she's in some sort of trance, like she doesn't know what she's doing.
Well, I think she's like fucking drunk on fame. Like he's like the biggest musical person.
Okay, they should have made that a little bit more clear. That's what I'm saying. Because I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
I think when you go into it and you're like, oh, this is just like a very direct, very unsubtle, I don't know, metaphor for these very on the nose themes about, like you were saying, like exploitation and just artists kind of being kind of taken advantage of and selling your soul or kind of. It's funny. It's like this is the movie's less about selling your soul than it is about being sold out. So I think even with Jessica Harper's character is like she just kind of represents another pawn.
Sure.
Kind of like on the board of these kind of soulless. What would you call them? Like
juicy fruits.
Yeah,
soulless juicy fruits.
A couple of soulless juicy fruits
and beef.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it was supposed to be such an extreme shift for her character to suddenly be all over Swan because it's kind of representing how people are taken advantage of so easily because they're being given this like incredible opportunity.
And he Swan uses Phoenix to get the Phantom to write like this new musical. And then
so she's manipulated and
then he just like fucks with him.
Yeah.
But okay, so Danny loved it. Casey didn't hate it.
I did not like it, I think is what I said earlier.
Yeah. I did not like it. I think this movie is so fun.
It is fun.
So a few cool things before we get into this. So Paul Williams.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot.
Winslow Leach, like the guy who plays him, William Finley, reminds me of like the Toxic Avenger before he becomes the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. He's like, it was very
gangly, tall and gangly.
Yeah. Like nerdy. Kinda. Yeah.
But Swan was played by Paul Williams, who has written a ton of songs, like popular songs. He even wrote the song "We've Only Just Begun" for the Carpenters, which we have talked about. It was featured in 1408 and In the Mouth of Madness.
Son of a bitch.
But he won an Academy Award for Evergreen, which is the theme of the 1977 A Star is Born. And he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Music for Phantom of the Paradise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
So that was pretty cool.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. You know what drove me crazy about this movie?
What's that?
And not the movie, but like what it was saying was you have like the music industry, quote unquote. And it's obviously like this, they're for profit. So they'll do whatever it takes to make money at the expense of people who actually have like this God-given talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what bums me out the most is it is a movie about selling your soul, but the real monsters in this movie, like Swan and the producer Philbin, they convince you to sell your soul for what is already like a natural talent. And I think that's what's the most like irritating part of it, because that is kind of, not to get so like, you know,
so serious,
I don't know, real, but yeah, but like that is kind of how these industries work in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Because they tell you how hard it is, how rare it is. And like, you have to do whatever it takes. And at the end of the day, it's like, wait, who the fuck are you? Like, I'm good at this. Who are you? Why are you the middleman to success and to like giving me this like springboard to kind of display my talents? Which I think is what makes characters like Winslow, even when obviously he does things that are like, you know, quote unquote evil, but that's why you can root for him. And he is an anti-hero because he's fighting for the man, you know, or not fight. He's fighting the man for the everyman,
for the other man.
Yeah. That other guy. He's fighting the man for the guy, and he's helping the guy for the girl, and the girl is with the guy.
And that's like independent films and independent music artists is like, they're just like, fuck you, I'm going to do it myself.
Which makes me wonder if De Palma did like deliberately make this movie so like weird, you know, like how would a studio market this movie? And because it's sort of like, fuck you, like I don't want you to know how to market this movie. That's the whole fucking point of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm giving you my creation. It doesn't have to be, you know, that like a popular thing nowadays is like, it's not art, it's content. And this feels like a very it feels very timely because it's very much just like on the nose, like commenting on that. And that's, I mean, this is 1974 and it's still something that we're dealing with today, if not more so. I feel like there was more of a climate for creativity and kind of like guerrilla filmmaking. Nowadays, it's become very sterilized. So this is a great movie to watch if you can
cookie
relate.
cutter, like they know what's going to sell. Make this, you know.
Oh, De Palma. He had me in De Palma of his hands.
Brian De Palma is so good. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, this is 2 years before he did Carrie, and then just went on a whole fucking run of Body Double and Dressed to Kill. And
yep. So he was born in 1940. So he was 34 when he made this movie. Let's see here. The Untouchables. Holy shit. Let's see a quick rundown of some really great De Palma movies. Let's see. We've got, so right before this, he made Sisters. Then he made Phantom of the Paradise. We've got Carrie, The Fury, Dressed to Kill, Blowout, Scarface, Body Double. He did the Dancing in the Dark video for Bruce Springsteen. He did The Untouchables, Casualties of War, Bonfire of the Vanities, Raising Cain, Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible, Snake Eyes, Mission to Mars, Femme Fatale, The Black Dahlia. Holy shit. Just fucking awesome.
Good Lord.
And you know who was a set decorator on this movie? Speaking of Carrie, Sissy Spacek.
Really?
Was set decorator on Phantom of the Paradise.
Do you know did she audition for Carrie? Did he know her through this? Do you know any of that?
I do not know. I only read that she was set decorator on this, and because of some mistake that she made, they lost a whole day of filming.
Oh, really?
And then he said, "You're hired?"
He's like, you could be in my next movie.
Carrie.
That's funny.
You suck as a set decorator, but you can
Carrie
act.
would too.
That's true.
This all makes sense.
She's a putz.
Okay, are you guys ready to head to the Paradise and meet the Phantom and Swan?
Let me just check the levels on this in the sound booth?
I'm so ready.
Are you using that little box, Danny, that he changes his voice with?
Yeah, but for some reason I'm like miming my hands kind of all over the place.
Zeep, zoop, zeep, zoop, zeep, zoop.
I am ready. Oh, we're going to get to it, but I love that voice effect.
Yeah, that was cool.
I did it perfectly just now.
You did. Okay, let's meet the monster. All right, so for Phantom of the Paradise, we have 11 official reveals and 1 honorable mention. Danny, does that sound right?
I want to say it sounds right, and I'm going to stick with it.
I guess we'll find out when we get to it. All right, and so this was, since this was my pick for our masked up triple feature, I will read the synopsis from IMDb.
Appreciate that.
A disfigured composer sells his soul for the woman he loves so that she will perform his music. However, an evil record tycoon betrays him and steals his music to open his rock palace, the Paradise.
This movie is so fucking weird.
Guys, fun fact, I didn't know that the Paradise was the name of the music venue.
Oh.
And I thought that was going to be a reveal.
I
Because they
understood
kept saying
that.
they're opening the Paradise. I was like, oh, what's the Paradise?
Oh,
what does this mean?
like they're opening Paradise.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this movie's going to get so weird.
Yeah.
And it did get weird, but not for that reason. I was just an idiot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this movie's really trippy. Let's just jump into our first reveal. Well, our first honorable mention, actually. The movie opens up with the Juicy Fruits singing.
Danny, was that your nickname in high school?
You fucking asshole. I love how my nickname was plural. Like I was multiple of something.
You're so fruity.
Hey, it's the Juicy Fruits. It's that kid.
Hey, Juicy Fruits, get over here. Juicy Fruits.
You're so fruity. There's more.
He's
than
so
one.
fruity. He's plural.
Yeah, so the Juicy Fruits they're like the like it band at the time. Like they're the ones that I don't know, you'd compare them to fucking insane.
You know what it reminded me of was, have you guys seen the film Josie and the Pussycats?
Oh, so long ago.
Probably when it came out.
That movie, I'm being dead serious, feels like it's taking a page out of this movie's book.
Okay.
Very similar idea.
You remember that, and that's why your nickname was the Juicy Fruits.
So, in the 2001 comedy Josie and the Pussycats, adapted from the Archie comics, no, very like.
Shut up, Juicy Fruits.
Go to the principal's office. I didn't do anything. Juicy Fruits, I swear to God.
Can it, Juicy Fruits?
He doesn't even go here. No, but it's that same idea of like there's this where the industry, this like the music industry kind of tells you like this is who you love, like, and this is who we're gonna keep kind of like workshopping and redefining, depending, like in kind of aligning with like wherever we decide to go creatively because we're in charge.
Yeah.
And that's basically because the Juicy Fruits end up going by several names throughout the course of the film.
Right.
Yeah, and then they're replaced with Beef.
Beef, played by Gerrit Graham, which on An American Werewolf in London episode, we talked about the actress playing the mom in Child's Play 2. Gerrit Graham, who plays Beef, plays the dad in Child's Play 2.
That's crazy.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Spoiler alert, my favorite character in the movie.
Oh, Beef?
Beef?
So funny.
I
laughed so hard.
Hilarious.
He is like giving everything, and it's like kind of offensive a little bit, like kind of playing into gay stereotypes.
Yeah,
but he's so entertaining that I
he says,
give it a pass.
I'm not going to do it in drag while he's in drag.
Yeah,
I like he's like doing that walk down the fucking stage, and he slips and he can't get back up. because of his shoes.
It was good.
Oh god, I love it. I love it.
But yes, the honorable mention. Sorry.
Yeah, so the honorable mention is Swan's white gloves. We see them just kind of clapping. And De Palma was big in the giallo genre here in the States. And so that kind of is like an early trademark of those kind of movies where you just see the hands of the villain. So that was pretty cool to see. And usually it's like black leather gloves, and these were like white, which was pretty neat given who we find out Swan is.
Yeah. Well, they kind of, that's actually a good point about the white gloves. They kind of set him up as someone who appreciates what he's saying. You know, like obviously like applause is a sign of, and he's like clapping, but really he's kind of just fishing in. He's just basically there to hunt. He's finding his prey.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because even like the Juicy Fruits, their song stops, and it's so funny to just like seriously talk about them.
To seriously call them the Juicy Fruits.
So the Juicy Fruits are done with their set.
Just Danny. My name's Danny.
So Danny, high school version of Danny, is done with his set.
Going to see this show tonight. It's Beef and the Juicy Fruits.
Oh god,
The juicy
Poots.
That's you say poots or poops? The juicy poops.
With the T.
Beef and the Juicy Poots.
Ow! Ow! God! No. So the only thing that I remembered about this movie that I could think of all day, I'm trying to remember stuff about this movie. And the only thing that I remembered was I could not tell if Swan was a tiny man or a lesbian.
Why not both?
I mean, it could be.
Paul Williams, in doing my research about his career, I found out he's 5'2", so he was very small.
Yeah, so he is a tiny man. But I was like, he really looks like a lesbian.
Okay, so our first official reveal is actually Philbin. Philbin?
Philbin, as in Regis.
Philbin. In that same scene where we see Swan's white gloves, Philbin is just being like a piece of shit, talking about like grooming some girl.
Yeah, he basically says he has a client who's not doing what he wants, and he's like, let's take her out.
Yeah. But he's like, I fucking did all this shit to her to get her where she needs to be, and she's not like fucking appreciating it or something.
Yeah.
And he's just icky and gross. So we're going to move on to our second reveal, which is actually Philbin again.
Philbin, enough. We've seen enough of you.
This is him requesting the songs from Winslow. So after the Juicy Fruits get off stage, Winslow like gets his piano and just fucking goes off on his cantata. Cantata sounds like a food.
Cantana.
It's his sword.
His frittata.
He composed a frittata.
Ew, I just pictured a bunch of scrambled eggs all over a piano. Ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding.
Wait, from here on out, his cantata is a frittata.
Is a frittata, yeah. Okay. So he's singing his frittata. he's playing his frittata. And Swan hears it and he's like, I want that. Not the guy, just the fucking music. I just want those eggs. And so Philbin goes and tries to get Winslow's songs, and Winslow's like, I don't have songs. I have one giant song.
Yeah.
And it's all right here. It's like 300, 400 fucking pages. And
he straight up tells him, he's like, this is the story of Faust.
Yes.
Who sold his soul to the devil. So we're basically getting this whole opening is just set up.
Right. As movies do.
Yeah. But this movie is so on the nose that it's like very little subtlety.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Moulin Rouge?
Oh, yeah. Zach, you need to just like fuck off.
Okay, well, I'm picking regular musicals for the next round, and I pick Moulin Rouge. But it's like in Moulin
Can't
Rouge.
do that. It's against the rules.
I can do whatever the fuck I want because this was just as much a horror movie as Moulin Rouge is. So in Moulin Rouge, in the opening, he's like writing his story, and he like tells the ending of the movie. And then
Okay.
while he's writing his play, the exact same things are happening in real life. But anyway, never mind.
So wait, in Moulin Rouge, does somebody get their teeth ripped out and replaced with metal teeth and then get their face crushed in a record press and then wear a mask and stab people? And does any of that happen in Moulin Rouge?
Well, not in that order.
Yeah. People die. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do.
Anyway.
But yeah, he freaking Philbin, the monster that he is, convinces Winslow to hand it over. He's like, we're going to make you a star. We're going to do, because he kind of gets mad because Philbin is like, we'll have the juicy fruits cover it. And Winslow's like, are you fucking kidding me? I hate the juicy fruits.
He like attacks him and he's like, get the fuck out of here.
So we know Winslow is not a sellout, despite the fact that he is inadvertently selling out. He doesn't realize he's in the process of selling out because he's not as, up to speed with kind of how this industry works. But he'll learn the hard way, arguably the hardest way that any musician has ever learned, that he made a mistake.
Yes. And he just gives it to fucking Philbin. He's like, go ahead, take it to Swan. And then it says like a month later, and he's like, oh yeah, he took my music and I never heard from him. And they're like, he goes into Death Records studio or to the office, and there's like some really cool trippy hallway, which was really neat. But she like looks up his file and it says like, we don't ever want to see him. So they kick him out. Then he sneaks into the fucking house. He fucking gets a taxi and he's like, follow that car. And they go to Swan's house, I guess. And, here, this is like they're auditioning women for his song, for his music. And this is where we meet Phoenix, because Winslow comes up and he's like, hey, you're singing it wrong. Sing it this way. And she's like, how do you know that? He's like, I fucking wrote it. And she's like, no, you didn't. He's like, I did. And he's so like naive because she's like, well, why aren't you in there? He's like, I don't know. They must have forgot to call me or something. It's like, dude,
You poor thing.
You poor thing.
And I actually love that they paint him as this naive character, because he is, again, like all these characters are like the extremes of like like kind of the allegory, like what this movie is trying to say, the bigger picture. So he kind of has to be like super dumb, essentially, because they really have to like drive that point home. However, that is what opens us up to our third reveal, which is when we see that this audition is not as innocent as it might seem on paper, because both Philbin, the producer, and Swan, this mysterious music industry mogul. Thank you.
Mogul?
Yeah. They are not only auditioning the woman, they are sexually assaulting them.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. Like you've heard, obviously there's, during the Me Too movement especially, they would always throw around the phrase of, maybe not the phrase, but like the casting couch.
Yeah.
And how women especially were taken advantage of in order to have the opportunity to kind of pursue their dreams in entertainment. And in this case, we're getting that on like, it's very potent. It's like all happening all at once to all these people. And
and they're like, just like they're just like sending in one after the other to Philbin. And he's just like one leaves and then he like just jumps on the other one, and it's so gross. Yeah. And Phoenix goes in and she busts out of there and she's like, I'm not doing, like, I want this really bad, but I'm not doing it this way.
Which I love, because like she kind of represents, I don't know, that's actually kind of insulting to people, because I was going to say she kind of like represents integrity, but that would kind of imply that someone who goes through that process doesn't have integrity, which is not the case. So I think she just represents another, like she's like the innocence, and because she ultimately does kind of succumb to these monsters.
Yeah.
So it just kind of shows
once she like finds her way and she like gets where she is going, she's like on this path, then she kind of like,
they corrupt her
and she like gives in, and she's like, she gets like a little taste and she's like, okay, I see. And then she just like goes for it. But yeah, so also in this third reveal, kind of like a bit, like the whole audition is like our third reveal. There's like this little orgy room sort of thing where like these girls are just like laying on a bed, and they're like,
orgy room.
he's like, Swan's got all these cameras everywhere, and he's like, he's watching us all the time. So just like, this is the audition. Like, we just have to be.
Yeah, the funniest part.
Do sexy thing.
Yeah, do sexy things. They were just laying there like.
Just like rolling around.
I would just be like napping or like eating a sandwich.
Pierogi hoagie, perhaps?
Pierogi hoagie.
But Winslow's in there in a fucking wig.
Yeah.
And
no, he doesn't. Does he have a wig on? I don't think he has a wig on.
I think he does.
I don't think he does.
If he doesn't, this is especially coming back later. So
I don't think he does.
I think he does because he's got like a dress on. He's like
yes, he
playing
has a
the
dress
part.
on, but his hair was already kind of long.
Oh, okay.
So he just.
So maybe he doesn't. Okay.
I don't think he does. And like he put like a headband on, like a flower headband or something like that. He did not try that hard.
But like as soon as Swan walks in there, he's like, "Hey, it's me," and then they just fucking beat him up.
Well, they threw him out. When they threw him out, he said, "Where's the closest department store?" Because he was going to buy his dress to go back.
Oh, yeah. They threw him out the first time, and then he goes back and buys his dress, and he goes into this little
orgy
sex pile.
Yeah, it's funny because he keeps having these moments of like trying to reach Swan, and every time, I mean, obviously there's like dark things that are happening, but in terms of like his experience, it's like that classic scene when you see in a movie where someone like the two security guards like, and stay out, just like throws him to the curb.
Yeah.
He keeps getting that, but this is like when it kind of just like escalates.
Oh,
Swan basically, you find out that he's bought out like the local police. So they frame him for being a drug dealer. He goes to prison and then
at Sing Sing for life.
He goes to Sing Sing. Yeah.
It's like fucking wild.
For like a little bit of drugs in his thing. They like sent him away for life.
Hey man, the war on
little
drugs.
by little, he becomes like physically becomes the Phantom. Like little by little, you start to see him like becoming physically like eroded. And I think it starts with his teeth.
Well, yeah, this is where like his naivete. Is that what they say? Naivete is starting to like go away because they're like, you select prisoners have volunteered for this prison dental program. We're going to remove all your teeth and replace them with metal ones. And he's like, I didn't volunteer. I'm innocent. And the warden or whatever is like, who here is innocent? And like everybody raises their hand and he's like, oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So they take out all his teeth. Then they're like on an assembly line packaging tiddlywinks. Do you guys remember tiddlywinks?
No. I wasn't around in 1974, Zach. You old fucker.
Me neither, but we still had tiddlywinks.
We still had tiddlywinks.
No, it was just like a really simple game. It was like a felt mat with like targets on it, right? And then you had like little plastic chips that you would just like kind of like Pogs almost, but like you would just like press down on the corner of one and it would shoot the other one.
Yeah.
And you had to try to land it on a
Is this
piece
kind of
of
like
the
ants
felt.
in your pants?
No, it's nothing like ants in your pants.
But you like
It's
flick
really
the plastic and it flings up into the thing?
No. I mean, you don't flick it. You just, if you take the bigger one and you press it on the end of the smaller one, it would fly.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
And it just goes, pew,
gotcha.
and then you try to like land it on the felt mat wherever.
Like a tiddlywink.
Yeah.
Just like a tiddlywink.
Oh, say no more.
Yeah.
So now that we know that Tiddlywinks plays an integral part in this story, he hears on the radio that like Swan is opening the paradise with this music and he just like freaks out. And so he jumps in a box of Tiddlywinks and goes down the assembly line and ends up in a truck that just like drives away.
What's crazy about this whole sequence is they go out of their way to show that like security sees him escaping. And yet like the second he goes down through the conveyor belt, it's like, he's fine. He's out. Like,
yeah, and he's out. Yep. And then like he's in the city and he just like gets out of the box. The box like falls off the truck or something and he like gets out.
Wait, did this actually happen in the movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but he ends up back at Sing Sing.
No, then he's done.
So then when he's in the record store, he's just working in the record store?
What record store? That's the Tiddlywink shop.
Right.
You're thinking of Tiddlywinks.
You're talking about, so you skipped the part where he fucking puts his face in a record presser thing.
No.
That comes up right
so
after.
he escapes Sing Sing, and then he goes to the record company to destroy all the records of the Juicy Fruits singing his song.
But he's just
I think
chilling there.
I think it's the Juicy Fruits.
He's just chilling in there, like watching everybody for a while.
Chilling in where?
Well, he's getting a lay of the land a little bit.
Wait, chilling in where?
I'm so confused.
Okay, no, tell me.
I
What you're
thought
thinking.
that when he was doing the record stuff, like I thought that he was working on the assembly line in that part in prison.
Oh,
And then that the record, that's what the job in prison was, that he was putting this record together in prison, and that's what angered him so much. Wow.
no,
See, I told you guys.
they were putting together Tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not right.
And then he leaves. He escapes Sing Sing, goes to the record company, tries to destroy all the records, and he sees the record press. And he all of a sudden has a big bundle of dynamite that he's gonna
naturally, as any
that he's gonna blow
prison
up the
escapee
thing
would.
with. And like a cop comes in and was like, "Hey, stop right there!" And so like he trips and he gets stuck on the thing, and his head falls in and it starts to press shut.
Okay, stuck. He gets stuck.
Yeah, his
I don't
like,
think so.
his
No, he
little,
was not
his little
stuck.
sleeve was stuck.
Yeah, he wasn't stuck. He didn't even try.
Are you saying he willingly melted his face in a vinyl record?
I'm just
maker
saying
machine?
he was asking for it. Okay.
Oh,
But not only did he melt his face that turns him into this monster, what melted his face was a pressing of his music being sung by a band that he despises.
You know, how poetic.
And now that is permanently pressed on his face.
How poetic.
oh.
Yeah, right? I thought that was pretty cool. So
What's crazy is up to this point, they have yet to deviate from the original Phantom of the Opera story. This is exactly how it plays out.
this is, so the classic Lon Chaney Phantom of the Opera, he has his bundle of dynamite.
Yeah, like straight up Dynamite and Tiddlywinks. That would be the new band. The Juicy Fruits would be Dynamite and the Tiddlywinks.
Beef and the Tiddlywinks.
And this is basically where the movie takes off as a Phantom of the Opera homage. Like this has all been backstory essentially, because now he flees, he jumps into the river, time passes, the paradise has been opened. Swan is profiting and really capitalizing off of everything he stole from Winslow.
Right.
Who, by the way, when we next meet Winslow, is no longer technically Winslow anymore.
Right. He is the Phantom of the Paradise.
The Phantom of the Paradise.
This is our fourth official reveal. We see Winslow in like a first person kind of like a Giallo style shot, where he's going into the paradise and he finds his costume, which I read somewhere that like there's like a lot of birds. This movie is all about like fucking birds, which
Swan,
I don't understand.
Phoenix, dead bird on
I gotta
thing.
understand the connection between birds and like what's going on.
I said this earlier before we started recording. Remember, I kept saying every time we talk about Phantom of the Paradise, my brain goes to the plant Birds of Paradise.
It's not a plant, it's a bird.
Oh,
But it's birds.
birds.
Paradise.
Yeah.
I didn't
Birds
hear
of
you say that.
Paradise.
Yeah, you guys didn't realize that. Okay.
Okay, so
Okay,
you
yeah,
got
Birds of
Swan,
Paradise.
you got Phoenix.
And plants grow, and
What does
phoenixes
plants don't have anything
grow
to do with
from
this, Danny.
fire. There's a lot of like growth, becoming new things.
Did you say plants
Yeah,
grow
where'd you
from
get the
fire?
plants?
No, phoenixes grow from.
But where'd you get the
from
plant
ash.
thing from?
Well, it's all about like growth is this theme of growing, of
But
becoming
plants-
something different.
But what?
Have you seen a bird of
plants?
paradise?
Yeah, have you?
In the right sometimes a bird of paradise will be leaves. That's all you're gonna get. They're these
No,
beautiful big
shut up.
green leaves.
Danny.
I'm being dead serious. In the right climate, in the right environment, and with the right, love and attention, they will bloom these really beautiful exotic flowers. So between that,
Birds of paradise?
the character, yeah,
Birds
Between the
of paradise are birds, Danny.
no,
Yes, they are.
oh my god,
They're birds, bro.
no, it's called a bird of paradise because the plant looks like a bird.
Okay, but birds of paradise are also kinds of birds. that are really, really extravagant.
You are absolutely correct. A birds of paradise is, but that doesn't mean I'm wrong. Google birds of paradise
I know.
plant.
I see it. I see yours too. I see the plant. I did Google the plant too.
Thank you.
But yes, birds of paradise are like these big flamboyant birds, and they do all kinds of like crazy shit for their mating rituals and stuff like that.
But so is the plant, the birds of paradise. Very exotic, very loud and vibrant.
Very demure.
Anyways, the point
The point
was growth in extreme conditions. The birds of paradise flowers in that very delicately extreme condition. Phoenix grows out of the ashes of fire and destruction. So all I'm saying is, maybe
what about a
this
swan?
is a stretch. Swans are delicate.
Swans also grow.
Yeah, they do. They're delicate, but I feel like a swan represents innocence and beauty.
Yeah. Well, they represent love.
Yeah. And he's just kind of like the opposite.
Well, and the record company was Death Records, and it has a bird that's like dead.
Blackbird.
Right. And did you notice when you were watching it that whenever you see that label on something, it looks like they put it in later? Did you notice that? It was kind of weird looking.
No.
I didn't notice.
They filmed it with the record company being called Swan Song Records. And they had to change it in post-production because Led Zeppelin, their record company, was called Swan Song. And so they were like feared lawsuits. And so they switched it to Death Records, but they had to go in and superimpose a new thing over the top of it.
Bummer, because it makes sense. The swan song death.
Swan Song.
It makes that whole like bird connection make so much more sense.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, son of a
Yeah, I don't know how we got off how we got on that, but
paradise, birds of paradise,
because
swans,
he finds his
phoenixes.
mask.
Yes.
Because he finds his mask,
mask,
and it's very like it's like a bird. Yeah. It's a really cool fucking mask. But this is our fourth reveal because he gets his costume, and then he starts like haunting the paradise, and he puts a bomb in a car as one does.
Bird's funny.
And De Palma's use of the split screen is so good in this because it's just like that famous Hitchcock quote about the bomb under the table.
Totally.
Where it's like, if you don't know the quote, paraphrasing, but it's basically like you're building so much more suspense if your audience knows there's a bomb under the table waiting to go off rather than just like two characters talking and then boom, a bomb goes off. It's like, it's surprising, but you're not getting that suspense.
Yeah.
And
a bomb going off is thrilling.
Yes.
Here, knowing that the bomb has been set is the definition of suspense.
Right. De Palma's great at split screen.
Yeah. And he is like openly a student of Hitchcock films. A lot of his movies are sort of homages to his movies in many ways. Like we were talking earlier about like Body Double and Just to Kill. Like those are straight up like he is doing his kind of like his version of a Hitchcock movie. So it makes sense that he would have started here as well.
There's a really good documentary that I would recommend. I think it's just called De Palma, which is all about.
What's it about?
It's just like him sitting in a chair talking about like his career, and he goes through like each movie and they talk about it, and it's really good.
Zach didn't think that was funny.
What's it about? Jesus. It's about Mission Impossible.
Oh, I fucking love Mission Impossible.
But from there, after he becomes the Phantom, we have two consecutive monster reveals, 5 and 6, basically just kind of like tail ending the other.
Yeah. So Swan and Winslow meet, right? Swan's going into like his fucking hidden lair, and Winslow, or I guess we'll call him the Phantom now. The Phantom just like attacks him. Ha! And
I feel like I'm watching the movie.
And Swan's like, ah,
because he's a little lesbian.
Oh, now I remember the scene. Yeah,
he's a little lesbian. I didn't know if I was watching a short man or a lesbian.
I didn't. I was very confused. Like even this morning, I'm like,
oh god,
was that?
That's funny.
Yeah.
So no, Swan and the Phantom meet, and basically Swan's like, "Where are you going, dude? Come back!" And he's like, doesn't want him to cause shit. So he's like, I'll give you what you want. I'll give you Phoenix. So
hey, none of your shenanigans, okay?
hey, cool it there. Can it, juicy fruits?
Hey, where's the beef?
We haven't met Beef yet.
I know.
We'll get
Where
there.
is he? I know.
But yeah, so then our sixth, that goes right into our sixth official reveal where Phoenix auditions to sing the song. And this is where she sees Swan. And he's like, what will you do for this role? Because she goes up to Philbin and he's like, are you a singer or something? What is he? He calls her something. She's like, I'm a singer. He's like, we don't need singers. We need screamers or something like that. And then Swan's like, wait a second. But like the Phantom is right there and like Phoenix starts to leave and he like puts his hand on Swan's shoulder and he's like, that's her. Because he can't talk. We forgot to say that. He can't talk right now.
He can't talk.
He lost his voice.
Because for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get your face melted in a record press. You don't know really what's going to happen.
I know that it's not going to affect your fucking voice box that's down in your throat.
You know what?
It's a metaphor.
I know. I love that he can talk. I actually do. Because I like the little voice box thing they do. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. When does that happen?
Well, for a while, up until our next reveal, a lot of the movie is essentially Swan and the Phantom kind of working together. They are sort of creatively collaborating. The Phantom thinks it's genuine. Swan obviously has sinister intentions, selfish intentions. Nothing has really changed.
Yeah.
And in that process of them collaborating, Swan is like, I'm going to need you at like the top of your creative game. You need to be able to talk. Mm-hmm. And then you wire some sound things.
Yeah. And we get some really cool, like, it is cool that like, because he's like a music producer, like he uses all the technology at his disposal. Yeah, he's like Dolby. He says another thing too that's like an interesting
frequency.
He gets it right where he wants it, which I think if I read this right, that voice on there that like they use from the box is actually Paul Williams' voice. And so for him saying that like it's a perfect voice, like was kind of like a fun nod.
That's interesting.
I think that's how the story goes.
Because the devil is a motherfucking egomaniac.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing too, is that like later you find out he's not even the devil. He's just under contract from the devil. But he does very
Everyone's
devilish
paying
things.
The piper in one way or another.
Yep.
But yeah, little does the Phantom know, as he's like recording all this great music, Swan is literally about to lock him in by building a brick wall to seal him into his studio because he doesn't give a shit about the Phantom.
Until they have breakfast.
Yeah.
So that part made me laugh.
Until they have breakfast.
He says breakfast and he opens this fucking briefcase full of pills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's keeping him up so that because he has like 11 days or something to rewrite his whole frittata. Talk about breakfast.
That's where this movie gets like
Swan's like eggs.
The movie's so crazy on the surface, but everything it's talking about and referencing and kind of commenting on is so depressing. Yeah. You know, like we talked about the audition room. We talked about the fact that these music moguls are just kind of selling out these actual artists. They're destroying their lives, destroying their livelihood. And then also like the whole idea of artists and musicians kind of leaning into drugs and drug abuse, which kind of becomes an inevitability in that kind of industry, which is so awful. They highlight that very like, I mean, it's the way the movie does it. It's like, you almost laugh at it. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then when you really think about it, like, this is so depressing. This is like, this is legit. This is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole thing is so depressing. And then they just put like the glitz and glamour and colors and stuff and make it kind of.
And beef.
And beef.
And Swan is, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but he's like oddly convincing when he is being friendly, where you're like, God damn it. Like he's winning me over. He seems sincere. Like he's not like twisting his mustache kind of. He is a little bit in a lot of parts, but like when he's with the Phantom, he seems sincere. Like we're in this together. We are collaborators.
I didn't know he was going to take his music until he was doing it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, before he writes the music, though, they sign the contract in blood.
Yeah. See?
It is funny. He's like reading. Winslow's like, I've been screwed over before. I'm going to read this contract, and he like finds one thing, and it says like anything that is excluded will be included. He's like, what does that mean? Swan's like, don't worry about it.
He's like, it's protecting you, actually.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's in this kind of like interim, this moment where we see this journey of the collaboration and then inevitably the Phantom's realization that he's being screwed over. And then he is now at this point, I think he descends into the classic like Phantom of the Opera.
Right.
He is to most people, the villain of the story, even though obviously like there's more to it. But he is like, he's bloodthirsty.
Yeah. Yeah. Because not only did Swan take the music that he told the Phantom he was going to give to Phoenix to make her a star, he takes the music, but then he says, fuck you to Phoenix, and he gets Beef to sing the song.
I laughed so hard when they introduced Beef. I was so confused. It's the
best movie character introduction
who's gonna do it? The Juicy Fruits? And he said, no, Beef. And I was like, wait, what? What does that mean? And then those three guys creepily came out, and I was like, are they Beef? And then they opened the coffin, and I was like, oh, that guy is Beef. Okay. It was confusing.
Oh, God. But yeah, not only does he give the music to Beef, but he's like, Beef can't sing it.
I hate that word.
And so Beef's like, this sounds like it was written for a chick.
Yeah, with the highest, gayest voice in the world.
And then Swan's like, well, then fucking rewrite it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Make it your own. So he completely screws over
So what
Winslow.
is the point of having
like including the Phantom's
Wilson?
music if you're just
Winslow.
I think that's the thing.
Winslow.
That's
Phantom.
what's so fucked up about it is ultimately these like recording studios, music moguls, they become indifferent.
That's
It
true.
actually doesn't matter. They're just like destroying these people's lives because they need just enough of what they can give to create a brand or an entire industry.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense. His next one, he meets Beef in the shower.
Yeah, he's beefing it in the shower.
We forgot to talk about the line where Winslow, or the Phantom, is writing his new frittata. And speaking of frittata and eggs, Swan says, tasty, Winslow, tasty.
Did you like that part?
Hey, you can't make new music without breaking a few eggs.
That's
what is
right.
it? No, what is it saying about? What is this saying? It's like you can't do something without breaking. How does that go? You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
You can't make a frittata without cracking a few beefs.
I hate it. I also hate
What's he doing
beef.
in the shower? Is he cracking beefs?
I also hate beef.
You cracking beefs in the shower, bro?
So I think that it's like a double thing for me, you know?
Yeah.
So you cracking
beefs.
Is that actually a term for it? Because it should be.
Yeah, cracking beefs.
You know, the juicy poots.
Yeah, cracking beefs.
You guys, we can't like fucking. We can't dishonor Phantom of the Paradise like this.
Why?
We didn't crack the beefs.
Yeah.
Beef cracked beef.
Yeah, we didn't crank the beef. They did.
But no, you're right. The next monster reveal is in the shower with Beef.
Yes, with the plunger.
That one is
which,
mouth.
which is really cool because, okay, so Beef
Plunge the
is
beef.
they're about to open the paradise with this song, and Beef he's like freaking out. He's got like bad vibes because, oh, that's what it was. Winslow finds out he's trapped in the room.
Mhm.
And so he screams, and Beef hears it. And he's like, what was that? You got ghosts in here? And so he's freaking out. And the dude's like, take a shower, cool off. So he goes in the shower and starts singing his song. And the Phantom comes in with a knife, very Norman Bates psycho kind of thing, and cuts open the fucking shower curtain with the knife. And you're like, oh shit, he's going to fucking kill him. And then he just sticks a plunger on his face. And it basically says, like, if you sing my songs, you mean if I can kill you.
Yeah.
So that is our 7th official reveal, where Beef's it in the shower with the Phantom.
Oh, he does specify only Phoenix can sing his song.
Yeah, only
Okay.
Phoenix can sing.
Okay.
And he says anyone who tries
Will die.
dies.
Oh, that's like a very Pennywise Stephen King's It thing. You'll die if you try. You'll die if you try. Remember that?
Kind of.
No? None of you guys?
Beep, beep, Richie.
Beep, beep. So then fucking Beef tries to run away in a Santa jacket,
It was
which
a
was
robe.
really weird.
It was a robe.
was it?
It just looked
Oh.
like a Santa. Yeah, it's very Santa.
I thought it was a Santa jacket, yeah. And Philbin's like, get the fuck back in there. So Beef goes on stage anyways in this really cool performance that's like Frankenstein.
Well,
and they're
it
like,
was Rocky Horror.
oh,
Yeah.
is okay.
Yeah.
I still haven't finished that movie, so
Yeah.
I don't really know. Yeah, sorry. Danny's face.
That's the angriest face I've ever seen from you, Danny.
I started it once recently.
I love that movie. That is such
Yeah,
a warm blanket movie.
It is. I mean, I think Rocky Horror came after this movie, so I mean, it is Frankenstein-y.
Yeah,
But-
when was
I don't know. When
Rocky
was
Horror? That had to have been right after, right?
75.
Yeah.
A year later.
1975.
So did they just was this serendipitous that they just so happened to have this same kind of right?
Maybe that was just in the ether. That energy,
Maybe.
that tone,
Maybe.
that kind of rebellious
Since it
or
wasn't out
creative
yet, since
rebellion.
since Phantom obviously didn't get their idea from Rocky Horror, then it was just sexy
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, Rocky Horror is amazing. Rocky Horror is all about like embracing your inner weird, but like your inner weird kind of encapsulates so much like sexual desire and anything that is kind of going against the status quo.
Mm.
And then you have Susan Sarandon and what is? No, you get it.
Yeah.
We'll get there
Anyhow.
someday.
Yeah, Beef takes the stage,
Yeah, Beef takes the stage.
and then he gets cooked,
Yeah, dude.
which
So
I love. That's my favorite part of the movie.
yeah, okay.
Because I loved the camera. Whatever they did when he was being electrocuted was just so cool to me.
Yeah, he was like kind of
It was kind of like a
twitching and
strobe light,
shaking and yeah,
but
yeah.
slower.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Yeah, because the Phantom like throws an electric lightning bolt at him, and he just like
Like a neon
zaps him.
sign of a lightning bolt.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what ultimately sets up our 8th reveal is when the Phantom meets Phoenix.
Yeah,
Or
so that because
Phoenix meets
Beef
Phantom.
gets cooked, that gives Phoenix, she like, Swan's like, put Phoenix on, give her the fucking thing, and she sings, and everyone fucking loves her. Why does the Phantom kill he kills the spotlight operator so that he can put the light on Phoenix.
Mhm.
Which the spotlight guy probably would have done that anyways.
Yeah,
So like,
I
I
think
don't
he
know why
would
he
have.
had to kill him.
Yeah.
He could have also just been like, hey, can you put the spotlight on her? If you don't, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. He
If
just
you
kills
don't
him.
try,
Yeah.
you die.
Oh, yeah.
So at this point, Phoenix has had her moment in the spotlight, and now people love her. All the fans are like going crazy. It's like Beatlemania for fucking Phoenix. And she can't get out of the building because everyone's going nuts for her. And so the Phantom kind of shows her a way to escape up to the roof. And they get up to the roof and she's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, you gotta just walk away. And she's like, no, I just hit fucking stardom. Who are you? And she's like, get away from me, creep. So that is our 8th official reveal where Phoenix meets the Phantom on the roof. And she goes down to the car and she's like, Swan, that fucking guy who's terrorizing you is up on the roof. And I don't remember what happens. Do they go up to
We're
try to get him?
basically witnessing the fall of the Phantom, but what is ultimately kind of the rise of the Phantom, because by falling, he is kind of realizing what he has to do in order
Rising
to kind
from
of
the ashes like a phoenix.
yes,
like a phoenix. Because
and
there is an
blooming like a
important
bird of paradise. The plant, not the bird.
there is an important plot point at on the roof when he sees Phoenix and Swan making out. He kills himself or he stabs himself, and then Swan comes up and he like takes the fucking knife out and he's like, "You can't die that easy. Like it's in our contract."
Well, he has this great line. He says, "No more suicides, Winslow. You gave up your right to rest in peace when you signed this contract."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a good line. Yeah.
But then then the Phantom stabs Swan. And Swan says, I've got a
and
contract
then it's like,
too.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Neither of us are dying. We are in a blood pact for music.
Yep. That actually leads us right into our 9th reveal where the Phantom, goes and finds what's his name's contract, Swan's contract. And it's like this flashback. Well, it's not really a flashback. It's on tape, but we're watching it where...
Hey, what is tape but a flashback?
Yeah. But like Swan has like this obsession with filming himself and
in the bathtub.
Like everywhere.
Same.
He's got cameras everywhere. And he's like, I'm going to kill myself because I can't be young forever, basically. And the devil shows up and he's like, dude, like, don't do that. Just be young forever. And
he's like, haven't you ever read The Portrait of Dorian Gray?
Dorian Gray, yeah. What did the devil get out of that?
I think he just gets his soul after.
Yeah.
Oh, duh.
I think it's just sort of like,
like
you have your fun, and I'll just be sitting here, just waiting. Little hungry tummy. Just,
I'll make you a frittata.
We've got cantatas. We've got katanas. We've got frittatas.
You can cut a frittata with a katana while you're listening to it.
He's like, do you have any burrata? No, we don't have burrata.
What's that?
It's like a heavy cheese.
Mm-hmm.
You ever had burrata?
It's like a ball.
Yeah, like a ball of cheese.
Is that with like the red wax on the outside?
Nope.
No, that is...
Are you supposed to eat that wax?
No.
No.
Isn't that mozzarella?
Are you talking about Baby Bell, Zach?
Yeah.
Is Baby Bell a brand or a type of cheese?
Baby Bell is a brand. You can get different kinds of cheese. They sell a few different
So they're just
flavors
wax
of
and
cheese.
everything.
But for clarification, you're not supposed to eat the wax.
You're not.
No, that's not
It
to
is
say
wax.
you can't eat the wax, because anything can be eaten.
You can chew on it.
Yeah.
You could eat a crayon.
You
wax.
could eat a crayon, Zach.
It's wax.
You could absolutely eat a crayon.
Okay, so sit in the bathtub, wants to
Eating
stay
a
young
crayon.
forever, eating a crayon.
But the Phantom now like destroys this room full of contracts, I guess. And in the process, he destroys Swan's. Well, that's the whole thing. Is like, I don't know if Swan did have a physical contract, but the devil basically said like, you have to keep this tape and watch it every day.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you're going to stay young. So
Yeah, because his being essentially will live in the footage. So he'll age in the footage, but he will stay young in the flesh.
Oh, is that the picture of Dorian Gray?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so he destroys that. And again, with the craziness of this movie, while this is happening, Phoenix and Swan are about to get married in front of everybody at the paradise. But I know, and I don't understand why this was supposed to happen, but Swan hired somebody to kill Phoenix during the ceremony.
After they both said I do.
Okay.
I don't know why.
It was supposed to be because he does say something about how it's all part of like everything's like a performance. You know, it's a story. It's something that is it's his vision of like why people like music. He doesn't understand that it's about like the beauty and the art. He thinks it's about the spectacle. So everything he does is like spectacle even if it's at the expense of like literally someone's life.
Yeah.
He's literally the worst. He's supposed to represent like the worst part of like those types of people.
Sure. Yeah. So he hires this guy to kill Phoenix. But the Phantom gets wind of that somehow. I think he must just see the guy, and he attacks him. And when he attacks the guy, he actually shoots Philbin, who is like the guy moderating the wedding, or like officiating. I couldn't think of the word.
He's emceeing the wedding.
They're already fighting. It's like a husband and wife already fighting. Because Philbin is like the guy officiating the wedding, which is weird. And so, but he gets shot in the face.
And it looks like he might be wearing a Pope outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I've never officiated a wedding before. What do I wear? Just go to the costume room and find something. He's like, ooh, this will work.
The costume room.
What's it called? The dressing room?
Wardrobe department.
The wardrobe. The costume room. Oh my God.
This movie broke us, guys.
It really did.
I have a feeling the next two movies we're not gonna feel this way.
No. It's only downhill from here. Yeah, so Swan is wearing like a gold mask, and now the Phantom in our 10th reveal swoops down in front of everybody and attacks Swan and just disrupts everything.
Yeah.
And then immediately, right into our 11th and final official monster reveal, Swan's mask is removed, and because his contract was destroyed, his face is like melting, and it's all just like goopy and gross. And Phoenix sees it, and there's a lot of confusion in this last little bit. The Phantom's mask gets ripped off, and Winslow's there all goopy. Not goopy, but like he's got his face all burned with the pressing of the record. And because Swan died, now Winslow's wound opened up again, and he starts bleeding out, and he dies. And Phoenix embraces him and cries, and that's it.
Everyone starts stabbing Swan. They want him dead.
Yes.
It's like he's not beautiful anymore. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want him. Like, you need to get out of here. You don't belong.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the end of Swan and the end of the Phantom, and that is the Phantom of the Paradise. Thank you, Brian De Palma, for giving us this masterpiece.
Thanks for shaking us up.
It's crazy. It's a wild fucking movie, but it's so good. It's a lot of fun. The music's good. I wouldn't say the music is like memorable, like really memorable, but it's good.
It's memorable in the sense that I don't remember any of the songs, but I bet if I tried, I could.
Well, there's that one at the end that's called during the credits. That's like I forget what it's called, but
it's not actually that memorable. It's not that forgettable. There's actually that song at the end. I can't remember it.
That was perfect. I didn't even realize I was playing into the whole fucking point of the conversation. Good God.
That's funny.
Okay, well, now it is time to select our favorite reveals in The Phantom of the Paradise.
What's going on here?
I don't see anything anywhere.
That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground.
All right, here we go. Speed round recap. Number 1, Philbin talks to Swan. Number 2, Philbin orders a frittata. Number 3, the audition, which includes Philbin being fucking Weinsteiny, Swan entering the orgy room, and that's it. Number 4, Winslow becomes the Phantom. He gets his costume and puts a bomb in the car. Number 5.
What an introduction. He becomes a Phantom. He gets to the place, puts a bomb in the car.
Number 5, Swan meets Winslow, or the Phantom. Swan meets the Phantom. Number 6, Phoenix auditions for Swan. She is a singer, not a screamer. Number 7, Beef. Number 7, Beef sit in the shower with Winslow. Number 8, Phoenix meets the Phantom on the roof. Mm-hmm. Number 9, the Phantom watches the tape of Swan selling his soul to the devil. Mm-hmm. 10 is the Phantom is revealed to everyone, and 11 is Swan's mask is removed and we see his face. That's all melty. So what is, Danny, let's start with you. What is your favorite reveal in Phantom of the Paradise?
My favorite reveal was Swan seeing the Phantom after the big explosion. When he looks up.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, that fucker.
Oh, yeah, because he sees him in the rafters, right?
So the big explosion, it's the big moment. It's the Phantom's big reveal. And it's like, it feels like the most classic Phantom of the Opera-y scene.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, I get that. Casey, what about you?
So my favorite reveal is when Beef sit in the shower, just because Beef and the shower and the plunger and it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, that's a cool scene. Like, it's a fun scene.
That's my runner-up.
I do love like the knife fake out where you like he cuts the curtain and it's really dangerous, and then he gets him with a plunger.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Beef in the shower as well.
All right,
just because dude. It's fun. It kind of like the craziness of that scene kind of like encapsulates the craziness of this whole movie.
Yeah.
Like if you were showing like, if you wanted someone to get the tone of this movie, just show them that scene.
Check this out.
And they'll get it.
This guy, by the way, in the shower, his name's Beef.
Who's that guy? Oh, that's Beef.
That's Beef.
But now it is time for a segment that we like to call The Real Monster.
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
You're a monster.
I'm not the monster here. You are. You and the rest of that fairy tale trash poisoning my perfect world. Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me.
Okay, so I have 2 for Phantom of the Paradise. I've got Swan for saying the F word. Mm-hmm. that we don't agree with. Not fuck, but the other.
Oh, I don't even remember.
It's when Winslow is in the sex pile with all the girls, and Swan says, "Get that."
Oh yes,
F
I remember.
Out of here.
Which is funny because he's the one that's in the pile of girls.
Mm-hmm.
And then my second real monster is the Juicy Fruits, not for being juicy poots, but during like the fucking performance
but for beef
of
and
that
the frittatas
song,
in the show.
But for beef and the frittatas, one of the fucking band members, he's like a backup singer, just goes and like assaults a woman in the audience and takes off her bra. You guys don't remember that?
They also dismember someone. Is that was a bit,
no,
right?
So that's a different part. That's at the
later.
end during the actual rock opera.
Okay.
They're like they have little fake bodies in the seats
because
they're like
they're dark.
picking.
They're no longer the juicy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like cutting people up and like that's how they like make Beef's character. He's like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But no, at the very beginning in the opening scene, the opening number, there's like 2 backup singers, and as the main singer is doing his bit, the other guys are like they like fight with a guy off screen, and then he like throws a woman on a table, jumps on top of her, and then she is like struggling, and then he comes back and he's like playing with her bra, and he's like happy that he got her bra, and it's like,
interesting.
What the fuck?
Interesting.
So this movie's got like Weinsteinism all over it. It's really gross and icky. So,
but we loved it.
But we loved it. No.
To be fair, they were painting these characters as monsters.
Right,
yes,
right.
We're not,
so those are
in no way whatsoever was Brian De Palma celebrating the Juicy Fruits.
Yes. So those are my real monsters. What do you guys got?
So my real monster is the doofus that decided to put in the newspaper that Winslow Leach escaped from prison and then was dead, even though the body was never found.
Yeah,
That's good.
he should be like missing.
Yeah,
right?
Missing prisoner, escapee,
From Sing Sing.
whereabouts unknown. But
Yeah.
they're like, oh, he got shot and died. He's in the river somewhere, but we don't have his body.
Yeah.
Stupid.
What is this? I know what you did last summer.
What do you got, Danny?
I've got two.
Okay.
One, my real monster, the first one is untalented assholes who exploit artists for personal gain.
Okay.
So kind of a real
Yep.
monster. And by
Yep,
kind of,
absolutely.
A real
just
monster.
a real
A
monster.
real
Yeah.
monster.
On the
My
real
second is Winslow's haircut.
Okay.
That is some,
Which
one?
many of us thought was a wig.
yeah, maybe
And by
I
many
hope
of
it
us,
was.
I mean me.
There's
By
like
many of us just use
the
that.
bangs have bangs.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Yeah, in the beginning. Then he cuts it, like when he goes into Sing Sing, he cuts it. They cut it
Oh,
Yeah.
because
They're like,
it's
we're
shorter
gonna
when he goes
take-
into Sing Sing.
All of your teeth and some of your hair.
Some of it, just some of it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it look like a toddler
Yeah.
got a pair of scissors and cut their own hair, and that's what.
But
we're
don't
gonna
worry,
do
you're
to
going to
your hair.
melt most of it off in the next
Yeah,
scene.
it doesn't matter.
Um,
Yeah, those are good.
gosh.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I love some of those shots of him with his mask on, and like they've got like the eye hole in the mask is pretty
Yeah.
big, but
Mhm.
they like painted his black around his eye, and so it makes it look like
He's like a bird.
They Batman.
I don't
him.
know.
That's what
Yeah,
he does it like a bird. That's like a really
yeah,
big.
real big,
Yeah.
and the eyeball goes to the side.
I
It's
love
really
it when he
cool.
like cackles and he
Uh-huh.
goes like that and it shows all of his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, now into our final segment. Would you survive?
And here we go.
Absolutely yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
sing.
He doesn't do
so
shit.
I'm not competition.
Just don't
I'm not a
audition
threat.
for anything or
Yeah.
go near the paradise and you're good.
My
Yeah.
dreams are very small. My yeah. I will not be in that world.
Well, that was a quick round.
Yeah.
It sure
Good talk.
was. And we're
Yep.
all alive
We're
to
all
Yeah.
winners.
talk about
We're
it.
all winners here. Okay, you guys, that was our first movie in our masked up triple feature.
Yay.
Dude, this is going to be a good run of movies, I think.
agree.
Because up next, we have a movie that I've been wanting to see for a long time. And we were recently going to do it, but it was unavailable at the time. Casey, what is our next movie?
We are watching Hush.
This is going to be our first Mike Flanagan movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan is something else. He's got some kind of talent in there.
Yeah. In there.
He's got
somewhere.
he's got a couple frittatas in there, I'd
Probably
say.
sold his soul to the devil.
Oh, he might have.
Oh.
Shit. Okay, yeah, so that's going to be cool. I cannot wait for that one. Okay, if you guys have seen Phantom of the Paradise and you want to chat more about it, reach out to us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, all of that. Or you can send us an email at howimetyourmonsterpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll talk more about Phantom of the Paradise. Where can our listeners find you two on social media?
I am on Instagram at WolfMotherCasey.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Danny?
I am on various social media platforms at my name, Danny Salem. That's DANNY SALEMME. 2 M's like the candy. Melt in your butt, not in your hand.
Wonderful.
Is that an like a yum?
And you can find me on social media at Zach Winsick. And until next time, thank you all for listening. Now go meet some monsters.